Georgetown coach Ed Cooley joins us on Ion College Basketball. Your preseason pick 6. We texted yesterday. I said I had you 6. All right, now let's go. Expectations are they're raising. How you liking your team, and how do you respond to your highest preseason rank since you got to the program?
I don't worry about the preseason rankings. I think our team is growing. I think we're developing. We're building an identity.
Yeah.
I think our players are really comfortable. I think the Canada trip really helped us. The scrimmage against GW really helped us being on the road. Getting ready to head to Kentucky in a week. I like what we're doing.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't worry about where you pick. That's what we coaches feel, think. I think we have 11 really good teams in the Big East. We'll deal with it.
Okay. But you and I both know that you hold really high standards for yourself. I remember talking to you when you got the job, and this is a paraphrase, but you basically said, find me in year 3. You knew the rebuild was going to be tough. And so here we are in year 3. What kind of program are Georgetown fans going to see, and how is it going to be different from what you had in year 1 and year 2?
Fair question, because I didn't think we had the defensive capability year 1 and 2. I think our staff has done a great job of building the identity of which can play for us. We can defend. I think we can make shots. I think we can extend the floor. I'm excited about this group, and I'm eager to see how we develop over the next month and a half to get us to come back to this building, to be here. Friday night semifinal, Saturday night championship. 21,000 people in this building is what we talk about, and I'm excited with our group. I really am.
Preseason accolades here. KJ Lewis is a preseason All Big East second team, and then Malik Mack, who I actually think I would put preseason second team, but regardless, he winds up on the third team. Updated scouting reports on where those guys are heading into the season, what you've seen over the past few weeks, particularly in the preseason.
I've been fortunate to coach some really good defensive players in the Big East, even as an assistant coach at Boston College, back when Boston College was here. I think we have one of the best defensive players in America in KJ Lewis. He's the Tasmanian devil. He can get from point A to point B to point C quicker than the human eye. Love what Malik's stability, learning how to play for us, learning how to grow. But we got a monster in KJ Lewis.
Yeah.
He, in my opinion, is one of the best defensive players I've ever coached, in my 31 years of coaching. He just has this innate ability to impact the game without scoring, which is really hard to do in our game.
Is it so good on a level where you think, if not believe, that his play is infectious, where it will uplift the entire team just because of not just his ability and maybe, how he'll disrupt offenses, but just the energy, what he brings to the floor? Like, are you seeing it in the preseason?
Yeah, I think it's rubbed off on Jeremiah Williams. I think it's rubbed off on Kayvon Mulready. I think it's rubbed off on Deshaun Harris-Smith. I think it's rubbed off on Vince and Julius. We're trying to get him to be more verbal. He's fun to watch and practice.
Yeah.
Matt. He's woo. He can cut your water off pretty quick. I'm excited about his intensity and how it's transforming our organization.
Are you expecting, and I say expecting with intention, are you expecting to be one of the 2 or 3 best defensive teams in the league? Like, is that the level of expectation this season?
The level of expectation for this year's group is to be one of the best defensive teams in America.
Yep.
And, we got our work cut out, but I think we have the foundation to be really, really fundamental defensively with the group that we assembled.
Offensively, is if that is the case, let's say what you expect, what you hope comes true, and you're a top 10 defensive unit in the country when it's all said and done. Will that come at the expense of your ability to create offense, or your 3-point shooting? Like an objective assessment of where you are collectively as a group when it comes to the long range shot and being able to, if you get into a bit of a shooting match with another team. Do you not have that yet? Might you have it? Where does that stand overall, team profile-wise?
I can only go off of what we just did. We just had a scrimmage against
A good GW team.
A really good GW
Yes.
team. Very good GW team. You know, I think we were 9 for 24, 25. I thought we had some really good open looks. When we're able to make open shots, I think we have an opportunity to have a really special unit. And that's what we're hoping for. I really like my team.
Okay, I'm excited to see what can happen with it. Big picture, real quick. State of college basketball, state of the Big East, particularly. You know, Gary Parrish and I talked on our Big East preview podcast just yesterday. You know, we don't view the Big East as this like 2-team league where UConn and St. John's are preseason top 5, and then everyone else will kind of figure that out. But you said you think there are 11 really good teams in the league. I totally get that. But do you find yourself, maybe you don't, but do you find yourself a bit motivated by this, I think, national perception of the league this season, where it might be, okay, UConn and St. John's, yeah, that might be able to be good enough to go to the Final Four, but is the Big East going to even be able to produce 4 NCAA tournament teams? You know, how does that land with you, Ed Cooley?
You know, I mean, it puts a chip on our shoulder for sure. You know, you look at Marquette and their continuity, what Coach Smart has done since he's been there. When you look at Greg McDermott, what he's done at Creighton since he's been there. When you look at the growth and development where Kim English has done a really good job revamping his roster, I feel what we have done. When you look at the job that Coach Holtman has done, when you look at the job that Rick Pitino is going to do, Richard's going to do, I think we're vastly underrated as a league. But I do want to say this. When I look around America, and this is totally off subject.
Yep.
Big Ten has 18 schools, 0 African-American coaches. SEC, 16 schools, 2 African-American head coaches. Big 12, 16 teams, 3 African-American coaches. That's 5 out of 55 schools. Last year in the hiring process, 1 African-American.
At the high major level.
At the high major level. Yep. We have to have a conversation around that. Without opportunity, I would not be here as Georgetown's coach, as a minority coach. You know, I don't think the media is paying attention to that. And we have to bring light to that, to give everyone an opportunity. And again, people are going to hire who they want, who they feel can do a great job for them. But I would not be doing my job as Coach Thompson did his job, as Nolan Richardson did his job, as George Raveling did his job, as John Chaney did his job. 3 of those 4 no longer here. So somebody got to carry the torch to give those young men and women who are minority coaches an opportunity to run their programs.
Yeah, I know we're tight on time, but I do want to follow up with you on that particular thing, because I know this is something that you have a real passion on.
Absolutely.
In addition to it falling on the media to bring more light.
Yes. 18 schools?
18 schools.
18 schools? Come on, man.
Record over the summer. So we've had this conversation previously. How do we get to a place where it's at a level where it's clearly not at now? You know, the Big East obviously is as diverse as more diverse than any power conference. In fact,
the ACC has 6 out of 18.
Okay, and the ACC's done a solid job on that regard. But why do you think we are where we are when you bring that up?
I mean, I don't know, but I would appreciate college presidents, college ADs, search firms really identifying young men and women. This is not just for men's basketball. I'm talking overall, an opportunity to impact young lives of their roster. What does your roster look like? What do those young men and women look like?
Right.
And who can they look up to and aspire to be?
Yeah, because when you look at quite clearly, what's the sport? The people actually playing the sport, overwhelmingly Black, African American.
Right.
And you're not seeing that nearly come close as when it comes to representation as head coaches, and to a certain extent, even assistant coaches as well. And how do you get there? No one's just going to promote you to be a head coach. You've never been an assistant.
I mean, you have to
work your way up, but yeah,
you got to work your way up. You got to pay your dues. And by no means am I saying the coaches in those positions are not worthy of it.
Right.
I'm just saying you have to have a conversation around it. When you look at 5 out of 55 schools, at the football quote unquote schools, 5 out of 55.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder could see there's a problem there, right?
Yes.
Could see there's a problem there. So I want to make sure that I bring light to that.
Right, because now you find yourself in a position where, I know you, the fellas you mentioned before, the legends that paved the way for you. I know you have no problem speaking out about this.
Zero problem speaking about it.
But you don't want this to have to be something where 20 years from now, someone that maybe you helped pave the way for has to talk about it again, and the cycle kind of repeats.
It's important for all of us, because if Coach Thompson, Nolan, John Chaney, George Raveling didn't speak on that, I don't know if I'm sitting here today. I don't know if Shaheen Holloway is sitting here today. I don't know if Kim English is sitting here today. I don't know if Shaka Smart is sitting here today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the media has to really pick up on that and really hold accountable to the either search firms, presidents, ADs, and have a really open, honest discussion. What does diversity really look like?
Ed, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I appreciate you bringing that up on the podcast. Look forward to continuing the conversation as it goes along.
Thank you.
Thank you.